Hello, everyone. This is Cynthia Mazzaferro, and welcome to Powerful Beyond Measure, where everything and anything is possible. I'm so excited to have with me tonight Dr. Elizabeth Jean Bruce. So, welcome, Jean. Dr. Bruce, how are you?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Good. Let me tell you a little bit about Dr. Elizabeth Bruce. She is an author for Morgan James Publishing House of The Undeniable Favor of God, Achieving My Present by Walking in the Light of God. Actualization, dream fulfillment, and finding one's purpose contributes to overall satisfaction with life. For many people, this manifests as distinct God-given dreams. Elizabeth Jean Bruce, who has a PhD, shares her own real-life journey, detailing how her dream was brought to fruition. She encourages others, for those who are pursuing a dream that may seem out of reach. Dr. Bruce insists that each person should not overlook the spiritual strength to be found in the people in their lives, and that they should embrace the unexpected. So I'd like to welcome you. How are you today, Dr. Bruce?
Thank you. Thanks for this platform.
Great. Well, I'm looking forward to delving into your book and hearing your story. This is a type of autobiography, am I correct in that?
Yeah.
Great. So can you tell us a little bit of why you decided to write your story?
I wanted to share my story because when I look back on my life, I can't believe that I've actually achieved such a goal that I've had since I was very young. And at the time, I felt like maybe it was kind of too big for me to go for. I really wanted to achieve something where I could make a significant difference in the world. And I thought that going for my degree in psychology would help me greatly to achieve that. But there were times when I thought, well, what if I tell people what I want to do and they kind of laugh at me, or if I try it and I am not able to accomplish it. But one day the Lord just told me to just go ahead, write it out, speak it out, and just go for it. And so once I just started telling people, I started writing it down and acknowledging it, and I just started going for it. I found out what was necessary to accomplish it, and I just started reaching for my goals step by step. And as I started making progress towards my goal, I feel like God just helped me to overcome whatever obstacles would come up, or whatever hurdles I would have to overcome. And I feel like when I look back on it, sometimes I'm just so thankful to God for helping me achieve far and beyond my wildest dreams. Like some of the things that happened to me during my journey, I wouldn't have expected it.
So let's stop before we get into that, if I can. Okay. I'll go a little bit backwards. So, okay. So for you and your family, is higher education a rarity?
Well, I would say no, because my father and my mother, they were both educated. My dad was an attorney and had his degree in law, and my family was always, they never told us what to do, but they encouraged us. So whatever we wanted to do, they provided emotional support for us, but they never, said, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. They were just provided role models for us, and whatever we wanted to do, they were supportive of us.
Okay, so here you are, you're trying to figure out what to do with your life, and you said earlier on that you got this kind of intuition, you got this idea, and God was connecting with you. So how did that happen? How did God show up in your life?
Oh my goodness. Uh, actually, I was raised to know God, so it was very early in life. I was like, I became very aware of God and my soul, and at the age of 5, I was very concerned about my relationship with God. And so I would, talk to my parents about, well, how do I know that I'm in good standing with God? And they would tell me. And then once talking to my parents helped me to understand and to become more comfortable with the fact that, God did love me. And indeed, I did already have a relationship with him. And from then on, I just felt comfortable cultivating my relationship with God at age 5. And then I talk about it in my book where I have like a miracle happened to me during around age 5.
Can you share that miracle with us?
Oh yes. I was born with like it was kind of like a rash on my neck. It was a round rash, and it was itchy, and the skin was raw quite a lot of the time. And so my parents spent a lot of time, taking me to the doctor, trying to find ointments and special soaps to clear up whatever that was. Looking back, it might have been eczema or something, but I don't know. But it was just something that wouldn't go away. And so one night when I was very young, I was about 5 years old, I was in bed and I felt a hand touch my neck. And I looked around my room, nobody was in there. And I'm surprised because I wasn't afraid. I just laid back down and went back to sleep. And I could tell the hand was like, it was a precise touch. It was a purposeful touch, and I could tell it was a healing touch. And I just went back to sleep. And I woke up the next day, and I told my mother, I said, Mom, someone touched my neck last night. And she looked at my neck, and my neck was completely healed. The skin was completely like brand new, and the rash was gone. And I knew that I had received a touch from God. And so since then, I would go around the school, and I would testify to my peers, like in kindergarten, like God touched and healed me. And every time I would talk about it, tears would well up in my eyes. And I could tell my peers I didn't know if they kind of could believe me or not. They just kind of looked at me and, kind of listened and kind of stared at me. But like everywhere I would go, I would talk about it. And I talked about it for years, like that, because I still feel that closeness from that evening when I felt a literal hand touch me. And
how beautiful. And it really made such a profound effect on you. It's still touching you even to this day, to know that his touch, God's touch being unisex, we don't know if it's God or male or female, but his touch, we'll use his as the gender in this particular conversation, is there as a touch for everyone to experience and know that his touch was always available to us.
Yes, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to share my testimony, because I want to encourage other people that, it's not just limited to me. Like, I want other people to know about this experience and to not to be afraid to go for their goals and to reach for their dreams, and that it's possible.
Beautiful. So how did God help you, or where did God fit into your goal as being a psychologist, and how are you using that career to touch other people's lives?
So when I was a junior in high school, I was kind of taking my time. I was kind of shy, and at the time I was thinking of trying to find a career kind of where I could kind of hide in the background and not socialize. And so I thought maybe something in the computer field, like computer technology or something, like fixing computers somewhere in the back room or something, because I was very shy. And so I even told my school counselor that I was considering being a computer technician. I didn't even really know what that meant. I just thought it would be something where I could hide away and fix things. And then one day, I don't know, I just realized, well, I want to do something to be helpful. I mean, like, to be, to help people. And I thought, well, then I started thinking about more careers, like maybe a doctor or physician or something, but I didn't think, you know, that I could possibly, I mean, I was too kind of queasy as far as thinking about being a physician or working in the field of health. And so I thought, well, one evening I was watching 2020 with my mother, and there was a child psychologist on there, and he had young people sitting around talking about how he had helped them in their lives. And I told my mom, I can do that, you know, because it involves talking, you know, it doesn't involve, you know, surgical things or, you know, matters like that. So I told my mom, I said, well, I could do that. And then, so ever since that evening, when I was a junior in high school, I just started the path of becoming a clinical psychologist, and I never turned back.
Great. So
Yeah.
I think what you're bringing up, though, is something that so many people struggle with, and at different parts of their times in their life. And that is, where do we go? How do we find out our passion? How do we find out the career choice, the purpose that we want to express during our day, you know, in our fill up our day in our heart and our life? And so, you know, that can change, because sometimes when you go into college, you have this mindset, I need a job, I need income, financial security, and still maybe be able to have the luxury of touching other people's lives. That would be really wonderful. And other people are, you know, have families, and they really don't have that opportunity to follow their passion. But often when the kids then go off to college, and now you have the empty nest syndrome, so many people are re-embarking and reawakening to, what can I do for the rest of my life that would bring me great joy, to follow the passion or the purpose I never really got to do, that still lingers within. And so I think it's great that you've been able to follow your heart, and you're not hiding anymore behind the computer. You're actually out touching people's lives and making a difference. So congratulations, that's really great. So what is your book really about, and what is the what do the readers get from reading your book?
Well, I'm hoping that they are inspired. I've been praying to the Lord to just put me before people for whom I could provide inspiration. I just want to let them know that whatever their career goal or dreams are, you know, whether it be a career or whatever their dreams are, don't be afraid to go for it, because as you put your, you know, you take a step forward, you know, God will walk with you. So like whatever your dreams are, don't be afraid to go for it, because you can allow your fears to kind of hinder you. But I feel like if you go for the desires that God places on your heart, you will be able to achieve those desires with the help of God. And I just want to share, like, I just want others to not be afraid to go for their dreams, because I feel like if I could achieve what I was dreaming, then anyone could do it. And so I just want to encourage everyone and let them know that it can be done. And I think that a lot of times we're afraid to put a step forward because we're afraid of what we might run into. And if I'd have known everything that I would run into, or if I'd have known all the obstacles or hurdles that I might engage in, like during my journey, I probably would have been afraid to start. But I feel like, you know, as you approach certain points, God gives you the grace and the strength to get through and to do what you need to do to overcome whatever you might run into.
And I think that what you're really saying is when you walk or when you journey with faith and in faith, that your journey is very much supported and guided by the Almighty, that is going to bring you along that path in a very easy way, as long as we get out of our own way. Because often we end up making, because we have free choice, free will, that we often will say no, even though he'd rather say yes and take that path. Because like you were saying, there's, when you don't know the outcome, the final result, when there's opportunity presenting itself, that often we shy away, we contract, we say, well, I'm not sure, I don't know if I want to be there and do that because I'm afraid I'll fail, I don't have the money, I don't believe in it, I'm just too many unknowns. And that would have been the most direct result and the path to get to the end point. But we tend to circumvent and go around and often divert from the path that is really to our highest good. So believing and having that intimate relationship, I think, is so powerful, and is only there to serve us and others as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's really great.
I agree.
Wonderful. So what are your hopes going forward in the future? Are you dreaming again?
Yes, it's weird because each time I achieve something, I have like another dream or another goal. And right now I hope to one day have my own child and family clinic.
Great.
Yeah, and I'm still in the kind of early stages of like figuring that out, but I still would like to make progress in my career, and I also would like to author some more books too.
Wonderful. That sounds really great. Well, I know your connection to Source, God, is very instrumental in your life, in what you hope to achieve, in that intimate connection to Source. Is there anything else you want to say about its impact in your life presently today?
I feel like I'm still amazed at the love that I feel from God in my life, and I recognize that like everything beautiful that comes to me, I recognize that God is the source, whether it be beautiful people or whether it be like the weather or some just fortunate circumstance that just comes out of nowhere. I recognize
this interview.
Right, yeah. And I recognize that it's God, and he is manifesting his love to me through those things. And I always see everything that's beautiful, I recognize it as God being the source.
I love that. I don't know if you realize it, Dr. Bruce, but as we're actually taping this, you're going to notice that the lighting in your background comes on and off a little bit. And
oh, really?
Maybe it's nothing that you're doing wrong. I've had many speakers that are connected to Source or angels or energies, and the same thing happens. But as you go back and you watch this, you will visibly see it. At least I see it on my screen. So I'm assuming it's there too. So it doesn't happen on my screen, but it's happening on yours. So definitely some energy shift of vibration, and color, of course, has a vibration to it. Light has a vibration to it. So there's definitely energy sources of vibration that are definitely impacting your room.
Wow.
Yeah. But following up with what you were just saying regarding how we look at these beautiful things that come into our life. And sometimes they're not always beautiful, but there's situations that might even make you feel uncomfortable. Like, oh my gosh, you want me to do this? This is a real stretch. I've never had that experience. This is really going to put me in an uncomfortable place. But by looking at it as this is a gift from God, from Source, is a way to be grateful, which is so important, to acknowledge that this is a gift, that this is a course redirection possible that God wants you to take, that is in your best interest, as well as the interest of your destiny and the work that you're doing in the world. So as we become more in tuned and sensitive to how we look at our life, it totally changes it. And when I listen to you, I sometimes think about when I actually have a whole day, I will be blessed with many, many miracles. I call them miracles, not just being touched by the hand of God, because they are. I'm being touched by the hand of God. I sometimes will get 10 interviews, radio show interviews in one day, or I'll have this and I'll have that.
Wow.
I just spoke to someone yesterday that was calling me while I was in the car and wanted to know if tomorrow night I'm going to appear on live for 2 hours doing intuitive readings. Now, I didn't reach out to this person. He reached out to me 3 or 4 weeks ago. We just never kind of got back together. And before you know it, I'm on a show for 2 hours. And all the proceeds for this show is going to be going to a homeless shelter and getting these people into homes. So again, God's hand, like on the back of my head, my neck, is propelling me forward this opportunity. And some people might say, oh, well, you're not making any money. But I am being so abundantly filled with riches in helping people. Yeah. And so, wonderful. Thank you. But this is kind of like what you're saying, that when you can embrace what is coming into your life, you are so full of spirit within yourself, because we are one with God, that everything starts to change in your life. And I try to get this point across when I talk about my book and then when I'm doing teachings and presentations, that when you are so aware and you become part of this universal energy that pushes you, kind of like you're drifting down a river, right? And the water's just letting you go. When you become one with this divine source of energy, and just think of God's hand pushing you down the river on that little inner tube. Yeah. That's the way your life goes. It's just filled with so many beautiful sightings along the riverbed. You see the beauty, and it's just amazing how you can experience life. Would you agree?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes, I agree. Yes.
So, well, I think your book is fabulous. I'm really looking forward to reading. Do you have your book there? You can show everybody your beautiful book?
Thank you. Can you see it?
Yes.
Thank you.
Undeniable favor of God. And who does not want to be in favor of God? And I think if we can just feel, and I love the way you said that we're just touched by the hand of God. And you actually felt that as a 5-year-old, and you actually remember it. For me, my big 5-year-old moment was actually putting my hand up in the sky, and I'd see the sun rays coming through my fingers. And I knew at that moment my hands were magical. They were healing. They had power beyond what I could ever understand. Now, that was a little 5-year-old.
Right.
How would I understand that? But I can still remember positioning of my hand. And
wonderful.
I haven't told this story to anybody really for a very long time, but I attended a Elizabeth Noble class. And in this class, you actually went back in utero and you experienced your physical birth and even fertilization. And as I was growing in the womb, I actually eventually had arms and legs. And I remember in the womb actually holding my hand up this certain way as a fetus, saying, oh my goodness, my hand is amazing. And it's amazing how at such a very young age, even for yourself, Dr. Bruce, how that image is so palpable. It's so imprinted on you for you to always to be able to share that message that we are all touched by the hand of God. It's a beautiful, empowering message.
Thank you. Thank you. And thanks for sharing your story too.
Well, and we all experience these beautiful messages in our life every single day. So when you are open to seeing your message, to connecting to that spiritual gift of who you are, this beautiful soul you are, amazing things start to happen. And,
yes.
Yeah. Here I thought my hand was magical or, healing. So what did I do? I went into the medicine world. I went into physical therapy. But since then, though, it's so much more than that. We all have such amazing capabilities. And they're not just, I'm an accountant or I'm a piano teacher. They are so much more profound because we are so powerful beyond measure. We are more than just the mathematician, the historian, the mother, the father. We have amazing spiritual gifts, every one of us.
Yes, exactly.
So I think along with what you're saying, Dr. Bruce, is finding your passion, finding your purpose, and letting them come to be born and allowing God's hand to help you along that journey is just an amazing path that we all need to take.
Right, exactly.
Great. Do you have any departing words before we end our conversation today?
I just want to encourage everyone, if you have something that's been lingering on your heart, more than likely it's probably God, that if you just not be afraid and limit yourself, don't limit yourself, go for, because a lot of times we limit our own selves. Just pursue, like what you said earlier, pursue your passion. And as you take one step, God will help you take, the next step, and then before you know it, you'll reach your goal and be ready to go further.
You'll be in a place that you don't even dream of. For example, I got asked to be a speaker on the Royal Caribbean cruise liner Allure with a group of people.
Wow.
And it's the Passion and Purpose cruise on the Royal Caribbean show, cruise line. But did I ever imagine that? But it came to be because God's hand was at work. And it's amazing.
Exactly.
We were talking about our purpose, our passion. So if any of you are looking forward to igniting and kind of building this wonderful excitement of what is my life about, even like you say, you're in the next stage of your life, and whether it's writing more books or creating this children's network of support, how wonderful, and getting that inspiration from God and from different speakers, because it's amazing. If you're interested in that, go to www.passionandpurposecruise.com, and you'll see all the phenomenal speakers, and I'm one of them. And use my name as a referral and join us for 7 days of wonderful cruising on the Eastern Caribbean. I wasn't expecting to talk about that, but you brought up so much about following your passion and purpose.
Yeah.
And it's God's hand is guiding me for me to say that, because this was not supposed to be about me, but God's hand is at work for all of us at all times. And
exactly.
We need to trust that. And so I have to trust also that I was supposed to say that because the universe was guiding us in that flow. So I thank you so much, Dr. Bruce, for being here. Hold up your book one more time.
Thanks for
Hold up your book one more time, please.
Oh, okay.
And if you haven't yet, go and purchase her beautiful book, either online, either Barnes & Noble, Amazon, or at any of your favorite bookstore. If they don't have it on the shelves, they'll be more than happy to order it for you, and it comes in a couple days. And I know that Dr. Bruce has a wonderful website. What's your website so people can go to it?
Well, I am on Facebook as Elizabeth J. Bruce, all one word. And then I'm also on Instagram as Elizabeth J. Bruce, all one word. And I'm also just starting up a YouTube channel. It's Elizabeth J. Bruce, PhD, and then the titles are Walking in the Light of God's Love. I'm kind of just reading small excerpts of my book on audio for those who would like to hear it by audio.
Beautiful. That's wonderful. Really great. Actually, I was just speaking to someone, radio show host, and his name of his show is Walking in God's Light. Really? God's light, I think it is, but it's just beautiful. So you just said that. So see how everything comes around? So that sounds
Exactly.
wonderful. So there's lots of ways to connect to Dr. Bruce. So thank you very much for joining me tonight. Much success with your book, and may it touch many people's life and inspire them to see their greatness and allow them to be powerful beyond measure. Thank you for coming here today.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. And thank you all, the listeners here. May you all be inspired to find your passion and purpose and realize that you are powerful beyond measure. Many blessings to you all. Take care.
Bye.